season 2017. I think it was Labor Day weekend. I've heard, I don't know if this is fact, I've heard that there was some overtures for a contract extension for you to try to get things done. How close were you guys to getting something done that Labor Day weekend, a week before the season started and you got hurt?
Yeah, I would say that we were decently close. We were decently close. At the time, everything just kind of wasn't aligning. So I mean, we were still off a little bit. But there definitely were attempts. On both sides. But at the time we couldn't get it figured out. And then by that time, a little bit after that, the season had started and everything like that. And just kind of me and my agent just thought it would be best. To just go ahead and focus on the season. At that standpoint, and not kind of just have the going back and forth. But unfortunately, third play of the game. I had a season-ending injury. Yeah.
Do you think if you didn't get hurt, you guys would have figured something out maybe during the course of the season?
I think it's a great possibility. But it's still tough to say. As far as the organization, they had some moving pieces in this league. Without having talent, without having playmaking ability, it's tough to win games.
All right.
So I wasn't shocked. And, again, for me, I'm just talking to my agent, he had a good feel in the market and everything like that, which helped me, stay true and stay confident to everything that we had talked about before.
Yeah, which is awesome. And then take care of your family and set you up to go have a lot of success.
And again, having a great opportunity, another thing that was big for me was the Bears Coach Nagy, at the time, so once I saw Coach Nagy, get signed by Chicago, just the kind of offense and the kind of scheme that I saw him have in Kansas City, I knew right then and there, that would be something that would be best for me, not just for, just signing there, to help my family and everything, but really for my career. He puts guys in great situations. He has a great feel for the game, play calling wise, and he has a great scheme. So for me, that was the trump card right there.
Yeah, and it's worked out pretty well. He seems like a good offensive mind. That offense seems to develop. You have a lot of weapons on that offense. Yep. But when did you feel back to Allen Robinson, the player you think you can be the $13 million guy? Because coming off that ACL is not interesting.
No,
not easy. We've seen it with like Senderick Marks in the past. Remember when he had the ACL? And he even said it was tough to get back.
It was tough.
How long did it take you to get back to say, all right,
I would say the game where I felt best the moment I felt best like myself in game and everything, I would say would be a Miami Dolphins game. I think that game right there, I think early in the season, again, just being limited through training camp and everything like that, and not just limited because of the injury, but also, again, just because my body is just getting back used to taking that workload, so the first game of the season, the second game, my body, again, hadn't taken hits in a while, hadn't taken that many hits, played that many plays and stuff. So Miami Dolphins game was the game where I felt like I was back to myself and back to making some of the plays. I think I had a back shoulder catch against Miami on the sideline, and that play right there for me was like exactly how I had been playing, being able to stretch out, make plays, create explosive plays and do everything like that.
People always talk about you and say, yeah, I'm just not sure he's a number one guy. You hear it.
Yeah.
I know you hear it. What do you think about it when people say that, and where is your game growing to maybe prove those people wrong?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's funny because maybe one of my buddies was just talking about that. I think that for me per se as a player, I think it's a lot of things that a lot of people say. People quote guys as speed guys. Like what is the definition of a speed guy? I think when you look at my average yards per catch, over the course of my career, especially in year 2, 3, and 5, in years that I've played, most of the games, when you look at my catch average and stuff like that, it's right on pace, for what you would consider a speed guy. As far as,
but nobody says Allen Robinson's fast.
I think my best year, I averaged 17.5 yards a catch or something in that nature, So being able to do that, being able to just make all the plays across the board. I think it just kind of depends on what you kind of consider a number one receiver. But I would consider myself that. Again, when my number is called, I go out there and make plays. I think that was evident this season as well. Whenever my number was called, it wasn't too many times where I wasn't making plays. When plays not only needed to be made, but also when the ops came. And again, that's what I was brought to Chicago for. Again, just to make plays.
Yeah, and you did it, especially at the big moments later in the year. As we wrap up with you, first of all, how many coats do you have in Chicago? Because it's a little different weather now.
Some more. I can tell you that. Luckily, I haven't been back in Chicago since the Arctic blast happened, so I have avoided that. But I'm definitely gonna have to bring some coats back when I go. Because I actually came from Jersey, so I didn't come here with a coat. So if I'm going back to Chicago after here, I definitely will need a coat. I'll tell you that.
Cody Parkey. Cody, yes, you do. Cody Parkey. How much have you guys supported him? How tough is that from athlete to athlete? Easy for everybody on the outside world to rip it. It's a tough stage to be on and a tough moment to have, right?
It's a tough situation. I think it's a tough situation more so because of the simple fact that, you have to live with that through the whole offseason. You don't have a time to redeem yourself until next season.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so tough, but it's funny because I said the same thing as far as, when you look at, it's been a lot of talks of, should they be able to challenge flags and everything like that as far as the referees? For me personally, I don't believe that because I feel like as nobody gets a second chance in a game, whether if it's a kicker, whether if it's a coach throwing a challenge flag, whether if it's a player not getting his foot down, so same thing as far as refs and just across the board, which is funny because I kind of talked about it on Twitter a little bit. But, I don't think that anybody should kind of get the second chance. And once that flag goes down, you can pick it up. But as far as being reviewed, I don't think that should be able to happen. It's something that happens in a moment. Just as far as the Cody Parkey thing. A miss is something that Cody Parkey has to live with throughout the course of the offseason until he gets his next opportunity. And I think he'll do well with his next opportunity. But it's one of those things that you have to live with. Same thing as far as a referee in that game. As he didn't throw the flag. So that's something that he should have to live with until next season.
It's a great explanation.
It shouldn't be something that should have to be review, to say, okay, that was pass interference, because nobody else can review any type of play or anything that at that time doesn't happen. Coaches can't review, like I said before. They can't go back and say, oh, I shouldn't have called that timeout, or I shouldn't have did this, or let me stop it right here, or nobody gets that chance.
That's a very good explanation of it. Very good. I think from a player's perspective, it's no different than you dropping a pass. You got to live with it.
So special. Again, you have coaches who are in big moments to make calls. You have players in big moments to make plays. You have referees in big moments, to make calls. So I think that's what makes the game so special in the nature of the game.
All right, 2 more questions. You got to set the record straight. How real was that whole training camp thing with you and Blake? That obviously went viral. And what is was your relationship with Blake? Your thoughts on obviously the quarterback in Jacksonville who might no longer be in Jacksonville when March comes around.
Me and Blake had a good relationship. We've even talked to we had a couple short conversations, throughout the course of the season. I saw some of the heat he was taking and stuff like that. And as far as me playing with a guy like that, I was able to contact him and tell him, just to keep battling, to keep battling, don't let anything faze you. So I think that me and Blake relationship was a lot better than many people kind of portrayed it to be. At the end of the day, that was my teammate for 4 years. We came in the same draft class together. We went through a lot of ups and downs together. So again, I think it was very good. Like I said before, I even talked to him throughout the course of the season. I know he was going through some things, and just for me as a player, who has gone through some things as well and played with him, just to be able to talk to him and tell him, to keep his head up. He's played well in this league and he can make plays in this league. Don't let the media beat you up too much. The media wants to beat up everybody they can. The media is like a bully. Mm-hmm. If you allow them to beat you up, they gonna do it. So just, to go out there and just try to, to do his thing. So, again, I think we have had, and a good relationship. I think we still have a good relationship.
Yeah, well said. All right, one last one for you. Did you need a change of scenery? I wondered that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I said I don't know if he feels great in Jacksonville. I don't know if you need a Chicago or if you need a Dallas or a New York. I wondered that out loud. Sometimes, and I'd like to get your thoughts on that. Is it better that? Were you not the greatest fit for Jacksonville for you personally? I think Jacksonville needs you. We said that too. But did you need to get out of Jacksonville?
I'm going to be honest. For me in my career, yes. Based off the simple fact that, even and this is even something I feel like about Blake, it's very tough in this league to play with numerous offensive coordinators, to have multiple coaches. It's a lot. It's a lot of moving pieces. And it's a lot of revolving doors, So for me to be able to get to Chicago, when they were getting their head coach in place, when they have their quarterback in place, and everything like that, going into work and everything like that, it was everybody was on the same page always. It wasn't, from my rookie year we had a different offensive coordinator second year. We had a great year with Coach Ole. 6 or 7 games into the next year, we fired Coach Ole. Now we have interim Coach Hackett. Then we fire Coach Bradley. Now we have Coach Marone. And then they have Nate Hackett through that year and a little bit of this year. Now they fire Nate Hackett. So it's like it's tough. As a player, it's extremely tough, and especially when these people are the head guys of the offensive side of the ball, the side that you're on. It's a lot of different schemes. So it's a lot going on to whereas you're trying to figure everything out. Playing with different coaches and everybody having their different opinion and where they see you at, and it's a lot going on. And it's tough. So I can only imagine how it could be. For a quarterback, because as receivers, me, Allen Hurns, even Marquise Lee, we felt the difference of just, as far as how Allen Hurns, fit into Coach Ole's scheme. A scheme that really utilized the slot. And the slot had a lot of different chances and a lot of different opportunities, based on compared to Coach Hackett, where it was kind of a different, run the ball down the field kind of guy, So, as a player, you do feel that, for me, I feel like I can fit into any scheme, but it's tough, when you're trying to just learn and trying to adapt to new coaches and new schemes, every year and some change. It's very tough.
Extremely well said. Candid Allen Robinson, it looks like you're in a good scheme right now, man.
Most
Congrats.
Definitely. I love it. Can't complain by any means.
Congratulations. Have a good offseason and go kill it next year in Chicago.
I appreciate it.
Allen Robinson on ESPN 690, former Jags receiver, had a huge playoff game for the Chicago Bears. Wish him the best as he moves forward in his career. We'll see what the Jags do. A lot point toward that quarterback spot. We'll be talking so much more about it. It was good to talk about the Jags Super Bowl week. Someday we'll talk about the Jags in the Super Bowl. Fantastic job by Stuart Weber. Great job by Marcel Robinson and Austin Lane here all week in Atlanta at Super Bowl 53. Nice job back home, Justin Kuzart. We'll talk more NBA next week, I promise.
All right, that's fine.
D-Wade and Dirk earning spots in the All-Star game by special order of the commission.
Very good. Drive In Dish podcast. Check it out. A new one drops this weekend. And have a good weekend, Coos. Thanks to Vito Stellino, Mike Golic, Carson Tinker, Cliff Avril, Yannick NGakoue, Allen Robinson, Shaun O'Hara, all for coming on a Friday, including Jedd Fisch as well. What a show. We had a lot of fun. And now it's time to do a little TV this weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. And watch CBS 47 and Fox 30. I'll see you on TV.